What if the worst thing that's ever happened to you wasn't happening to you, but actually trying to teach you something? 5 years ago, I was sitting in my barber's chair after a really difficult breakup. I was still grieving the loss of my mother. I was sad, confused, and if I'm being truthful, depressed. I remember saying things like, why is this happening to me? Why did I have to lose my mum? Why did I lose my girlfriend? My barber looked at me and interrupted. You need to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Find the lesson in your pain and use it as fuel to move your life forward. And so I froze. For the first time in my life, something had struck a chord within me, and I realized that this was a quote that I was destined to hear. That sentence sat with me. So I sat with it. I reflected, I journaled, I thought about every painful experience I've ever had, and eventually it clicked. I learned that no matter how much you love someone or how far you're willing to go for someone, that love can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye. I spent 15 years of my life knowing my mum was dealing with cancer, and the odds were at some point that illness may take her. But even when it came to the day that she took her last breath, I still wasn't prepared. So instead of allowing that pain to harden me, I actually allowed it to soften me. I started leading with love. I became kinder to strangers. I complimented people more. I even checked in on friends more often and actually invited more thought-provoking conversations. I performed random acts of kindness without expecting anything in return. And I'm talking about all this, but does it make me perfect? Absolutely not. I will still catch myself falling back into old habits, and I still overthink massively. I still make repeated mistakes, and all these self-destructive habits I keep finding myself doing. But I'm a completely different man than the person that I was 5 years ago. Those who died yesterday had plans for this morning. Those who died this morning had plans for tonight. Life changes in an instant. Don't wait to tell someone that you love them. Just say it. Don't wait to forgive. Just forgive them. Don't wait until you're successful to then finally become kind. You must lead with love now, because tomorrow it just isn't promised. Be optimistically delusional. This might sound strange, but one of the biggest changes that I ever made was becoming what I call optimistically delusional. Most people on earth are pessimistically delusional, and they convince themselves they're going to fail before they've even tried. They might imagine everyone's judging them and the world's out to get them. They assume the worst case scenario is guaranteed to happen. For example, they might say, there's a load of traffic this morning and I'm going to be late to work. So if your brain's going to make up these stories anyway, then why not make up better ones? There's a load of traffic this morning, I'm going to be late to work, which means I get to spend more time in my car by myself listening to my favourite music and singing along. A quick shift like that might be the difference between you having a bad day and a good day. Why not believe that everything is working out in your favour? I know it sounds stupid. Why not believe you're capable of building an incredible life? Why not believe that you'll meet amazing people, create meaningful work, and become someone that you're proud of and people around you are proud of? Will every one of these beliefs come true? Maybe not. But I'd much rather wake up every day believing life is happening for me than believe it's happening to me. It's just a perspective shift. Your beliefs shape your actions. Your actions shape your habits. And your habits eventually become your life. I'd also like to share 3 things that personally changed my life. Yours may be different, but these might be a great starting point to you living with a better mindset. Number 1, getting outside and moving as much as possible. Whether that's going to the gym or just going for a walk, sometimes the best therapy is literally just going for a walk. When you're sat in a room, it's easy for dismantling thoughts to creep in, and they've got nowhere to go but bounce off the walls and come back to you. But when you're thinking in an outside space, there's no walls, just air and movement for your thoughts to just roam around and get free and leave. I don't need to go into the detail about the science behind this, but it's very common knowledge that movement is medicine. So take that hike, Get into nature. We plug our phones on charge every night, but when was the last time that you plugged yourself into Mother Earth and just sat in a body of water? Number two, your social circle. I used to bend my personality to be more in line with those around me, and I quickly realised that the real me would slowly creep in to these social situations, and I would be questioned or made fun of for being myself. I didn't align with that anymore. So I was lonely for a long time, but then I started to become very intentional about who I spend my time with. And I luckily met new people who put just as much effort in with me as I do with them. It's scary, but don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Post that picture, wear that outfit, and who knows, you might meet someone that aligns with you just as much as you align with that vibe. Energy is so contagious. So spending enough time around people who complain, gossip, and focus on everything that's wrong, and eventually you'll start doing the same. I've been there and done that, and I still do it to this day. So try and spend more of your time around people who dream big, laugh often, encourage you, and genuinely want the best for you, and you'll slowly start to become more like them. Number three, and arguably the most important one, music. This sounds small, but it changed my life and it changed everything. As a man with ADHD, when I'm sad, I always find myself listening to sad music because it feels comforting. I want to feel more of that emotion. But eventually I realized I was feeding the emotion that I was actually trying to escape. So I started to listen to music that made me feel more alive. Here's some examples of some songs which I really love. Knocks Me Off My Feet by Stevie Wonder. Human Nature by Michael Jackson. Everybody knows me, knows I love Michael Jackson. Even listening to my favorite video game soundtracks, Mario, Zelda, even Donkey Kong. These are songs that make me smile, and they also make me move. They make me dance. And the songs that remind me that there's still joy and hope in the world, because you can put something so beautiful into these things and then it just goes out to the world. The music that you consume affects your emotional state more than you think. Choose sounds that lift your spirit. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. I just want to leave you with one final thought. Keep being you. Keep showing up. Be unapologetically yourself. Don't let the standards, expectations, or social constructs of this world convince you that you're not enough. Your uniqueness is your greatest strength, and the world doesn't need more copies of someone else. We've got enough of that. What the world needs is more uniqueness, and it needs the version of you that only you can become. So keep shining, and when life inevitably gets dark, do your very best to shine even brighter in the absence of light, because you never know whose darkness your light might help illuminate.